Hola, my loves. Today I'm going to talk about numerology, numerology and angel numbers. Before I start, though, let me send you guys peace, blessings, and abundance your way, my loves. And just send that all the way out into the universe and the atmosphere, okay? All right, I'd like to jump right into it. And because this one is going to be a little wordy, I want to make sure that I get through everything and you know that you guys get as much information as possible, because I am in the process of growing in the sacred science of numerology, and in a way to better aid myself with the angel numbers, like the numbers that we receive from our spirit guides, and also working on building up my astrology, because like I said in an earlier video, basically every tool that we have that is available to us, we should utilize it and look at it as a part of a map. So these are different maps and tools that we have in order to aid us and grow us in our spiritual journey. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So again, it's about numerology and angel numbers. So one of the sacred spiritual sciences is numerology. Numerology is the study of the vibrational signature or spiritual meaning of numbers. It basically describes the relationships between the meaning of numbers and how they reflect certain characteristics, qualities, and aptitudes that relate to life. So, spiritual meaning of numbers, within numbers are vast, limitless potentials. Numbers have been recognized by ancients for their symbolic meaning, for their magic, and deep spiritual meaning. It is one of the most sacred, holistic arts of the ancients. Numbers are embedded in all living beings. It's embedded in the sun, the moon, the stars, planets, animals, and us, because numbers play a big part in our personal traits. That's why numerology and astrology is one of the key ways of figuring out how your personality works and the quirks that you have, and it's really a good tool to utilize in raising your children, because you gain insight on their personality before they once they come into this life. So it helps you raise them better and prepare them for their own journeys when their human experience becomes an adulthood experience. All right. Angel numbers are a specific sequence of numbers, some repetitive, that we see frequently or at noticeable moments in our lives. So there are times when you see the same number, like for instance, the sequence of the 4 ones, 1111. When you see that number, a lot of us saw that number when we first started to spiritually wake up and started to notice that things around us weren't quite right. That is an angel number. And there are many sequences of angel numbers, including other repetitive numbers, and understanding that repetitive numbers have a more potent or more strong vibration to them. And also, as I was discussing with my nephew yesterday, because he was seeing his birthday or Earth Strong, he was seeing that number a lot, and he actually sees it in the AM and PM. And I had actually started seeing my birthday quite a bit as well in the AM and the PM. So that's actually what got me into thinking that I need to go ahead and just do a video about this, because I have been, researching it. And today I did a quick cram session and also placed some notes. So this is some things that I researched, and it's also my own notes and from my higher self that guided me to some other things and attributes of these numbers. Okay, so most studies, when you look at numerology, they only recognize the numbers 1 through 9 in the study of numerology. However, in utilizing the spiritual meaning, so it's not just numerology, I'm doing the spiritual meaning behind the numbers. So the relation of I'm looking at the relation of the numbers 0 through 9, and decoding communication from higher dimensions, higher self, and our angel soul guides, basically giving us the benefits of those numbers 0 through 9. Now please note that all notes have what some people consider positive and negative, what they call positive and negative connotation or vibration to them, because just like I said, our birthdays represent us at our numerological, or our I should say our attributes and characteristics, personality traits and things like that. Just so like we have things that are more of a lower self or lower vibration, that's the same thing with the numbers, because remember, we are made up of numbers. You know, if you really think about vibrations and frequencies and things like that, it is numbers and sounds and all of that stuff, you know, in one, wrapped up into one pretty little package, which is who we are and which is what all nature is. So I just wanted to start off by saying that. But my focus in this video is on the attributes for you being able to interpret your angel numbers. When you see those numbers, it gives you a better insight to that, basically. All right. Also note that master numbers hold a significant meaning and carry a stronger vibration due to the duplication of the number. These numbers that are considered master numbers are 11, 22, and 33. Some also recognize the number 13, which is not a duplication of the same number. However, if you think about the number 13, the number 13 is the number when you have ascended to basically being in balance with your higher self and your lower self, or your ego. Okay. All right. I am providing this information. See, I lost my train of thought because I actually started thinking about something else. However, I want to stay on target. I am providing this information as a guide on what each number means, like I said, to aid in deciphering the messages from the higher realms. However, the correct understanding of what your soul guide is communicating at that very moment, it is best for you to write it down. You know, you can buy a journal, start journaling. I honestly just really started writing things down because I'm working on, you know, being better with just recalling. Like, I have a really good memory with most things, so, especially with numbers. However, I'm working on recalling what I was thinking about at the moment when I saw that number. That's what the journal is for you to write down what you were thinking at the moment that those numbers came across, in whatever fashion. If you saw it on a clock, if you saw it on a license tag, if you saw it on a receipt, like you purchased something and saw it on a receipt, however you saw that number, that is writing it down is the best way for you to start seeing a pattern in it, basically. So if you're seeing, let's say you get up and you see the number 1010 in the AM, you write, and you know you saw it the day before. However, you saw it, you just didn't think it was important, even though you know that something made you look at the clock during that time or whatever. That is the best way for you to see really what message the angels are trying to convey to you. If you're making a journal and you write down what you were, the time and what you were thinking at that time, and then if that number keeps coming to pass, every time you see the number, you write down what you were thinking, and you can basically, like a puzzle, you're putting the puzzle pieces together. All right. And also, one of the best methods is asking your soul guide what it means before you meditate, and then asking to receive, basically requesting to receive an answer from your angel guide during that meditation. Also, during your dreams, you can receive an answer. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the spiritual meaning of numbers. Starting with the number 0, like I said, I'm going to do 0 through 9, not just 1 through 9, because most people only focus on 1 through 9. And I get why they do it, because if you add up all the if you add up 1 through 8, it goes back to the number 9. That's why people normally only give you 1 through 9. However, if you look at the number 9, the number 9 broken down is a 300 is related to a circle, which a circle is 360 degrees, a perfect complete circle, and 3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. So that's why still it's good to go to zero, to start with zero, because zero is still related to all of the other numbers. And I'm actually going to go into the spiritual meaning of the number zero now. So zero is alpha and omega because there is no beginning and really no end. And if you really think about the cosmos, it's infinite. We are infinite beings. It is a circle where creative potential exists. Zero is a perfect circle with a vortex of power at its center. And my notice is like the cosmic mother or the dark matter, where all potential is in the black hole. And that's where the stars are birthed. So the number zero actually represents the cosmic mother and the dark matter. Zero is void, where ideas circulate and nothing is yet concrete. So it's just full of potential and ideas. The form and spiritual essence of number zero is a womb, the woman, and represents the vast openness of the cosmos, where endless energies, life forms, and realities will one day be discovered. The ancients said that the God force is a circle whose center is everywhere and its circumference is nowhere. The number zero also represents the spiritual meaning and nature of continuous flow. Zero is a feminine vibration, open and receptive, as woman is. In numerology, it is the number of the universal energies and source, the beginning point, eternity, infinity, oneness, wholeness, continuing cycles and flow, developing one's spiritual aspects and connecting with the higher self, and denotes freedom from limitations. If the number zero is in a sequence you are seeing, it amplifies the energies of the number it appears with. So if you see 1011 or 1010, having zero in there actually is going to increase the vibration of the number one that is in the that 4-digit sequence. Okay, and like I said, that's it represents excuse me, a feminine vibration or feminine energy, because again it is in representation of the womb of the woman. All right, the number one is a strong, assertive symbol of individuality, the beginning of self-discovery and self-empowerment. And the note that I put there is the first house in the astrological wheel is ruled by Aries. And Aries is the beginning of the true new year, and which is why Aries is the first house. It rules the first house on the astrological wheel. And also it's ruled by Aries and Mars, because Mars rules Aries, and it's commonly referred to as the house of self. So if you think about the first thing I said, which it is individuality and the beginning of self-discovery and self-empowerment, that's why I put the note of the first house, because that actually ties in with the astrology wheel. The cusp of the first house is the home of the ascendant, the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the precise moment of one's birth. I actually talked about that in my video, Parts of Astrology That Play a Major Role in Who We Are. And I talked about how the ascendant house, that first house, is a very important house when you're actually working on discovering who you are. Because if you think about discovering who you are, you think about a child at the beginning of your life, when you're starting to, you know, do all of the things for the very first time. You're starting to crawl, you start to walk, you talk, learn how to use the bathroom. During that stage, everything's the first time for you in this lifeline, basically. So that's why individuality and self-discovery is very important. Okay, so if you want more information on the ascendant rising house or your first house, you can check that video out. All right, so one is the spiritual essence of singularity, seeking, reaching, exploring to define self. The form of number one is perfectly straight, like an arrow or the male penis. One represents the spiritual aspects and potential of the need to know self and the power that's within us. Ultimately, the objective is to be one with higher self. One is a male vibration, like I said. It is straight like a penis, and it's focusing energy outwards, versus inwards, as you would think of when you're thinking of your intuition and things that are more related to the feminine energy. Okay, and if you think of the sun projects everything what's on the outside of us, so it makes sense that the number 1 is focused on energy that's outward. In numerology, 1 relates to new beginnings, creation, progress, inspiration, self-leadership, assertiveness, motivation, progress, striving forward, uniqueness and individuality, creating your own reality, positivity and activity. And I also wanted to talk about, at the ending, the master number 11, which ties into the number 1. Master number 11 is the most intuitive of all the master numbers. It is instinctual, charismatic, dynamic, and capable when its sights are set on concrete goals. It is associated with faith and psychics. Okay? So it's associated with your psychic abilities. And if you think about your first eye, you know, that's where a lot of your psychic abilities come from. So that is the number 1. Let's get into the number 2. Number 2 is a number of union. It's yin and yang, it's balance. 2 is the embodiment of partnership, to find the holistic value and purpose of cooperation and co-creation. With the number 2, 1 can begin to co-create with the universe, or with a partner to bring the expression of union into new forms of new life. And the spirituality of the number 2 suggests that all manifestation requires co-creation, and nothing is created by self alone, i.e. sex to create a new life between a man and a woman. That union of a man and a woman coming together. 2 is the vibration of balance between male and female. In numerology, 2 represents faith, trust. I put full encouragement instead of encouragement because EN dictates the ending of something, and full encouragement is a better vibration for me. And I actually learned that from the Rastas. I learned a lot of good terminology that denotes a better vibration, seeing that the English language is, you know, absolutely difficult when it comes to higher conscious people, or people who are striving to be more balanced with their higher self, because it does carry a more of a negative or lower vibration to it. All right. Where was I? Stopped at full encouragement. So also it represents attainment, success, adaptability, diplomacy, cooperation, duality, your yin and yang, service, duty, balance, harmony, selflessness, and your divine life purpose and soul mission. I will also say that the yin and yang is also the balance within yourself, because remember that the yin and yang symbol, how it has the half black with the white circle and the half white with the black circle, is representative of the black side being that of the feminine energy, with the white circle which inside of it, which is representative of the masculine energy inside of the feminine. And then the white half with the black circle is the masculine energy, the white, the light, with the black dot which represents the feminine energy inside of the masculine. So it's showing you how both aspects are combined or are one. And that's basically what we're supposed to be working towards. Your feminine energy, which is your more of your intuition and tapping into the cosmos and the cosmic mother. And then you have your masculine energy, which is more of your ego. So it's finding the balance within the two. And number 2, in my opinion, it represents that perfectly. All right. Also, what I noticed is that the second house of the astrology wheel is commonly referred to as the house of possessions. And so using our possessions, including material goods, to maximum advantage is also within the realm of the second house, which is ruled by Taurus and Venus. And the reason why I brought up the second house and referring to house and possessions is talking about co-creating things. And when you co-create things, you are gaining possessions, basically. You know, you're building some type of structure with another person. And what comes with that is possessions. And then also it talks about success and things like that. And with success comes possessions. You know, we start to gain things. Now, the number 2 is considered to be more representative of the feminine energy, even though it is of a dual nature. Still, it's more associated with feminine energy. And actually, most research shows that the even numbers represent the feminine and the odd numbers represent the masculine energy. Just FYI. The master number 22, it's called the master builder. And the master builder is able to turn your dreams into realities. It is confident, pragmatic, ambitious, and disciplined. All right. Now we're going to jump into the number 3. 3 is the first number of motion and movement. The wave-like movement and flow of energies is the number 3. And you think about the curves, just the way that the number 3 curves. With the movement of 3, magic begins to reveal itself as a spinning vortex of energy. With the number 3, the divine aspects of mind, body, spirit come into awareness. So that's the divinity. And if you think about Christianity, where they have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, and you think of a triangle, and you think of the pyramids and all those things where they have that particular shape to it, it is a connection to the divine aspects or the higher realms and the divinities, the heavens. So the spiritual energies of number 3 sets magic in motion. That's, if you again think of the pyramids and the shape of them, it is in order what people call magic. And it's really, magic is just, you know, utilizing the energy of all of the universe, the oneness of all of that, calling upon it in your mind, body, and your spirit in order to create things, in order to manifest and create your own realities, to connect to every living being, basically. It's to be one with all aspects of yourself. Where was I? Because I had a sidebar just then. The spiritual energies of number 3, like I said, sets magic in motion, positive thoughts, activated and drawing back to the self, positive energies and opportunities. In numerology, 3 relates to self-expression, communication, optimism, enthusiasm, skills, talents, friendliness, sociability, manifesting, growth, expansion, and the principles of increase. Okay? The 3rd house of the astrology wheel rules your mind and intellect, and it's ruled by Gemini and Mercury. And if anyone's familiar with Mercury, communication and expression is a very are 2 of the characteristics of Mercury. So it makes sense that number 3 and that 3rd house of the astrological wheel are related to those characteristics or aspects. All right. It also reveals how you approach and analyze problems and how you perceive information. Basically, it drives your overall learning and communicative processes, again, which goes back to the planet Mercury. 3 is the vibration of the masculine energy. Again, going back to the odd numbers. However, some say that 3 is the vibration of feminine energy because in looking at the shape number 3. So it's really how you take it. I feel like it could honestly be, I feel like some of these numbers could be both. Because again, remember that everything has all aspects in it. However, you know, for this purpose, we'll go ahead and stick with the even numbers being more of the feminine aspect and the odd numbers being more of the masculine. Master number 33 is called the master teacher and has a deep spiritual meaning, and it is to use your nurturing and healing gifts to serve yourself and others in a joyful and accepting way. And if you think about Jesus, who died at the age of 33, even though we know that Jesus is not a real person or wasn't a real person, still, if you think about the symbolism of him dying at the age of 33, and he was a nurturing and healing figure, and his purpose was to serve others and bring them to their higher being and their higher self, and do it in a joyful and accepting way, in a teacher way. That's why it's called the master teacher, and that's why that number is associated with the master teacher. And a lot of master teachers like Buddha and things like that, like if you Google master number 33, it'll literally give you the names of Jesus and Buddha and others who were considered master teachers. Okay, that number is also the perfect balance between master numbers 11 and 22. If you add 11 plus 22, you get 33. So 33 is a combination of the master numbers 11 and 22. So basically, you completed the level of 11, then you completed the level of 22, and then now you are the master number 33, which is to me like the overall master number of all three. Okay. Now let's go into the number 4. 4 is the number of being. It is the number that connects mind, body, spirit with the physical world of structure and organization. So, and for me, when I think of the number 4 and connecting to the physical world, I think of earth, air, fire, and water. And also the symbol for earth is a circle with a cross that has the 4 quadrants. And that represents the 4 elements that I just mentioned: earth, air, fire, and water. And that's what number 4 symbolizes. And if you think about the number 4, it does seem more structured the way the number is. So 4 symbolizes the safety and security of home, the need for stability and strength on a solid foundation of values and beliefs. The spiritual nature of number 4 calls in the need for having or creating a sacred space and sanctuary in your home, a place to meditate and build your innermost foundation of strength and being. And again, I saw that the number 4 and the characteristics of the number 4, the spiritual characteristics of the number 4, coincides with the 4th house of the astrology wheel, which is ruled by Cancer and the moon. And that particular house represents the house and family. And so the house and family is more of a nurturing. It is about building a home. It is about foundation. So that coincided. So I made sure I put a note in so that I could express that to you guys. In numerology, 4 represents support, stability, solid foundations, willpower, which is the 4th chakra, your heart. The will, whatever your heart wills, your desires, is willed by your heart. So if your heart is sick and your heart is sad, you're going to will a sick and sad existence, you know. However, your heart is full of bliss and love, you're going to will a blissful and loving existence. Okay. Also, it represents success and wholeness, inner wisdom, and hard work. 4 is the, even though I'm not big on hard work, I've been there and done that. I know that if there's any such thing as hard work, it would be the working of your inner self and working through, issues and things that you accumulated in this lifeline and past lifelines, because that's what we're really here to do, to resolve those things in order for us to move to our next level and higher level of being, basically. 4 is considered the vibration of feminine energy, which again makes sense because if you think of the 4th house in astrology, Cancer and the moon rule that house. The number 5. 5 is the number of manifestation. It is the number of the 5 elements of earth, air, water, fire, and ether. Within the 5 elements are all of the components necessary for creative manifestation. 5 is a very, free-spirited creative number. The spiritual essence of number 5 aligns to freedom, to feel the freedom to pursue basically whatever fills your heart with purposeful joy and bliss. 5 is a doing number representing faith and action, having a mindful connection to the synergy of the forces of nature. The 5th house in astrology wheel is commonly referred to as the house of pleasure and is ruled by Leo and the sun. The reason why I put the note and I saw a correlation is because of the fact that it allows you to fulfill your heart's desires with purposeful joy and bliss. And so we know that Leo and the sun, or Leo is the heart. The sun is more of your solar plexus. However, Leo is still associated with your heart chakra. So that's why I saw a correlation with those two, as well as freedom. This house talks about, I mean, not this house, this number is associated with freedom, and the 5th house is about your pleasures. And when you feel free, you feel free to basically indulge in your pleasures, things that make you happy, things that make you feel free, things that fulfill your free spirit, you know? Oftentimes, pleasure is a result of a creative act, romance and romantic affairs, emotional pleasures. In numerology, 5 resonates with major life changes, making important decisions, promotion, advancement, adaptability, versatility, personal freedom, life lessons, learned through experience and resourcefulness. The number 5 represents masculine energy as well. And if you think about the sun being the ruler of the 5th house, that would make sense. Okay? The number 6. 6 is the number of seeing. It is a number that connects to intuitive guides and guidance. And if you think of how some people say that your pineal gland is your 6th sense, it makes sense that it's the number of seeing. So 6 is the rim of inner vision, inner wisdom, and with practice, it is the gateway to clairvoyance. And 6 is the number that taps into the infinite powers of imagination and visualization and dreams. 6 opens the gateway to unlocking your ability to see that you can do anything, be anything, and create anything that you truly desire. And I also thought about your 6th chakra, which is your 3rd eye or your brow chakra, which seeing, that makes sense again, that the number 6 is the number of seeing, if you think about your 6th chakra. All right, if you hold your vision, this is just a note that was when I was researching that I located. But if you hold your vision in the subconscious, as it cannot distinguish between a vision and reality, and with time your vision will take hold in reality if you know how to form the vision in your mind. That comes with what that's basically saying is visualizing. That's why when you're meditating, you're supposed to visualize that thing that you want, that thing that you desire, your heart's desire, because with visualization comes reality. It's your way of creating and manifesting the things that you want as well. All right. The 6th house in astrology wheel is actually associated with the house of health and Virgo and Mercury. So for me, I really didn't see too much of a correlation with it, except for the fact that the things that you visualize, the things that you dream, and having your inner wisdom and things like that, it can control your health. It can control how healthy you are or how good your health is. However, at the same time, I really didn't see too much of a correlation with it. However, I put that in there. If anyone else finds anything else, just let me know. You can post a comment. All right. In numerology, the number 6 relates to possessions, the material and monetary aspects, home and family, love and nurturing, service and domesticity, responsibility and reliability, grace and gratitude, honesty and integrity. And the number 6 represents feminine energy, which makes sense because anytime you're talking about inner wisdom, inner vision, anything that starts with the word starts with the letters I-N is going inside of yourself. And when you're going inside of yourself, you're tapping into more of your intuition and tapping into your inner wisdom. And inner wisdom, all that comes from the cosmic mother, all that comes from the feminine energy. All right. Now we're going to move on to the number 7. 7, a lot of people love number 7. 7 is a number that opens one to the realm of divine vibration. Spiritual attributes of number 7 includes the enlightened power of chakra energies. So, of course, when you think of chakras, you think of your 7 chakras and the number 7. All right. Also, the rainbow spectrum frequencies, and it is the realm of intuitive feeling. The number 7 is charged with spiritual energies of luck, like the lucky number 7, and serendipity. When aligned to number 7, your intuitive feelings are strong and will guide you to the choice that is best for you at this time. And that's basically like aligning all of your your 7 chakras, from your base, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your pineal gland, and your crown. Aligning all 7 chakras, then you have the perfect flow of energy in order for you to connect with the divine realm. All right. Where was I? Okay. The 7th house. Yeah, the 7th house in astrology is about relationships, love, and commitment, and is ruled by Libra and Venus. I went ahead and just left that one in there. However, the only thing I really probably can see a correlation in with that is the fact of love, because of divine love. So when all your chakras are aligned, you are able to actually appreciate and express and feel divine love, which divine love is unconditional love. It's not judging anyone, and it's not having any expectation on people in order to love them. They don't have to fulfill certain needs of you in order to love them. Love is definitely unconditional. It's the way that the earth loves us and takes care of us and provides for us, even though we trash it and pollute it and things of that nature. All right. In numerology, 7 represents learning, education, faith, spiritual development, awakening, independence and individualism, overstanding of others, philosophy and the philosophical, determination and persistence of purpose, inner strength and inner wisdom, and psychic abilities. Oh, and empathic. And I put a note that this is why most people that I've noticed this. Most people who are born on the 7th, and I don't just mean the number 7, I mean also numbers that add up to the number 7 that are derivatives. So you have the number 7, and then you have the number 16, and then you have the number, 25. And so when you have people born on those days, 7, 16, 25, you'll notice that those people, when they waken up or have their spiritual awakening, those are the people who are normally the ones who do not want to utilize like books to research or, listening to other people in order to gain knowledge of self. They just want to go, they're like, I'll just go inside and I'll get that knowledge, because that is actually a part of who they are in the number 7. And however, that's a good thing to look within. We all should be growing and looking within. That's a part of our journey. However, it's still nothing wrong, number 7s. I'm going to call y'all number 7s. It's still nothing wrong with gaining knowledge from others and through books and things like that, because, again, that's still all a part of you. And it's only a map or a tool that you have available to you, because we're in a time and space now in 2018 that we're able to have access to way more things than our ancestors had. And so it's okay. It's okay with using other things. Just like some of you will still use crystals and stones. Crystals and stones, they're ancient energies, ancient ancestors that are, giving us information. Just like, we utilize meditation. It's giving us information. So it's okay to use tools. It's okay to use other things to grow yourself and aid you on your spiritual journey. People born on the 7th day, okay? or numbers that add up to the number 7, okay? All right. Number 8, and actually number 8 is a little bit more personal for me, because I was born on the 26th day, and 2 + 6 = 8. And there are some really awesome people that were born on that day. Marcus Garvey, he was born on the 17th day of August, the 8th month, even though that's technically not the 8th month. However, on the Gregorian calendar, it's the 8th month. And so 1 + 7 = 8. And also Lauryn Hill was born on, I think, the 26th day, as well as Erykah Badu, of their months. So I think Erykah Badu is in February and Lauryn Hill is in May. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we have the attributes of the number 8. So I'm going to go ahead and go over what the number 8 represents. 8 is a number of abundance and prosperity. As the universe supplies infinite abundance of energy and resources to supply the needs, dreams, and desires that anyone can conceive. The spiritual vibration in number 8 is prosperity and self-empowerment through right action and right livelihood, which is more kind of like on the righteous, is what they're saying. However, truly there is no such thing as right or wrong. It's really just the intention and things that are behind it. However, there truly is no right or wrong in the universe, and any energy that someone puts out, if it's in a harming way to harm others, then that energy they'll attract that same energy, because it really is law of attraction. Okay. 8 is a number that supplies the energetic flow of money, giving us the opportunity to create affluence and full joy, the fruits of our actions, and to help others learn to do the same. 8 is a karmic number, and when turned horizontal, it represents infinity. I have to make sure I put that note back in there, because, you know, it is an infinite number. Okay, the 8th house in astrology wheel is commonly referred to as the house of sex. The 8th house is an equal opportunity house, placing sex, death, and rebirth on the same level playing field, and acknowledging the viability and importance of all three. And I will say that I do feel like the 8th house does tie into the numerology of the number 8, because of the death and the rebirth process. Because if you think of reincarnation, that 8, you know, is coming back into existence and things like that in different forms. And oh, I think that I did not put, let me look it up real quick. Hold on, y'all. Let me look up, because I want to make sure. I think I put it on here. However, maybe I missed it. Okay, I didn't put it on there. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio and Pluto, and I actually knew that it's ruled by Scorpio and Pluto, and yeah, I did put the death and rebirth and money and all that good stuff, but I didn't put the sign that it's ruled by in the planet. So Scorpio and Pluto. All right. In numerology, 8 is associated with self-confidence, personal power and authority, giving and receiving, truth and integrity, practicality, dependability, and self-reliance, and manifesting positive abundance. Number 8 relates to the concept of karma and the universal spiritual law of karma. And the number 8 represents feminine energy. And the if you look at the number 8, it is, as universal frequencies likes to say, it is very similar to the female shape and form. So, you know, that shape of the top and the waist coming in and then the bottom. All right, let's dive into the number 9. Number 9 is the number of cosmic consciousness. It is a spiritual doorway to awakening of the higher self, to the alignment of all that is and was and ever will be. The spiritual blessings of number 9 opens one to a higher awareness of self-purpose. Divine purpose reveals itself to you as you pass through this doorway. Okay? When I think of 9, a lot of times you think of the number of divinity, basically. The path to enlightenment as well with the number 9. And I put a note that, again, a complete circle is 360 degrees. So 3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. Also, a woman carries a child for 9 months or 270 days. 2 plus 7 plus 0 equals 9. And the ninth house in the astrology wheel is commonly referred to as the house of philosophy. It's our search for meaning that is the focal point of this house. It's understanding and accepting that which is greater than us and our world. In numerology, 9 relates with the attributes of the universal spiritual laws: compassion, benevolence, and generosity, living life as a positive example, leadership, service to humanity, and light working. It also relates to endings and conclusions, and is ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter. Sagittarius is my sun sign, and Jupiter is about expansion. So the number 9 represents masculine energies, so it says. And basically, like I said, it's not for you to take all of this and say that, you know, this is the only meanings, because there are plenty other meanings. I just put in, you know, some of the things that I researched and found, and things that, you know, came to me that I felt were pertinent or important to share with you guys. However, you know, basically you can utilize the characteristics of these numbers and the interpretations that I gave you to help you better interpret your angel numbers, or numbers that you're seeing frequently. And of course, like I said, the best way to get more clarification on why you're receiving those numbers is through meditation and asking your soul guide or your angel guide, or whatever you want to call it, in order for them to communicate or express it to you as to why you're receiving that. However, you can use this as a basis to get an understanding of it. Okay? So I actually went through all of that pretty quickly, even though this is, what, 45 minutes. However, it's still more, it went faster basically than I thought it would go. And I trust that this information will aid in the elevation of your mind, your soul, and your body, my loves. And I just want you guys to full enjoy your journey, even things that you feel are the valleys, because we have peaks and we have valleys. I want you to full enjoy every experience, because each experience is a stop, you know, on that journey, and it's a stop towards you getting closer to your path and reaching a balance of your higher self and your ego, and getting to the point where you're really starting to see the manifestations of all of your hard work and working on yourself and working on your inner being. I will say that for me, I've been seeing not only my birthday, because I have been seeing that number 1126, and if you add that number 1 plus 1, first off, 11 is a master number, okay, and we talked about the master number, and then 26 is 8. However, if you add that master number and make it a 2, and then the number 8, you get the number 10, which 1 plus 0 is 1. And so, you know, I can look at the attributes of the number 1 and the master number, and also the number 8. And also, if I want to break it down, I can look at the numbers 2 and 6. So it's different ways that you can look at your angel numbers and get a perspective of it, okay? And, you know, this is just, like I said, something that aids you in it. And if you're also, also I've been seeing a lot of numbers that are relating to me being more confident in myself. So that's why I am making more videos right now and not focusing on, you know, what I see at the present moment, like who's subscribing to me, who's viewing it, like how many people, because I know that whatever I think and what is in my heart, like if I don't have the confidence in myself, I shouldn't say the word don't, but if I lack the confidence in myself, it reflects in what I see. And everything you do does take time, and as long as I'm following what my higher self is guiding me to do, because I know I'm an empath and I know I'm a light worker and I'm meant to spread and share love to others, and I am doing that through different methods. Sometimes I do that through food, because people I love, they know that I love to cook, and I share that with them, you know, no money or anything like that, because it's just something that I want to give to them, you know. So I know that the things that we love to do, we're supposed to be doing that at this very moment and expressing ourselves. And I say that to say, if you're not doing right now what you love, or following something that makes your heart happy, that gives you joy and bliss, you need to start doing that now. Even if you are not like me and you don't quit a job that's not fulfilling you and that's actually making you unhappy, if you feel that you can't do that right now, that's fine. However, at least start doing something in your free time. Make free time to do things that you really and truly love, because that's really a lot of times what your angel number is telling you. It's telling you you need to start walking in your purpose, because whenever you walk in your purpose, money and all of that is going to come. All of that's going to come with it. However, you have to start with self. You have to start with taking care of your inner self and doing things that you love and making yourself happy in this lifeline. You know, that's really the best way. I actually started tearing up a little bit because I get passionate about that. I get passionate about really about this journey for myself and for everybody else, because the more that I grow, the more that you grow, the more that everyone grows, because our energy is being transferred to other people. You know what I'm saying? That's what actually is helping to raise our collective consciousness, is the more of us growing and the more of us sharing. We all are teachers. We all are students in this journey. Nobody's above anybody else. And that's another thing that my angel numbers have been showing me, to not compare myself to anybody else, because that actually goes back to my childhood. That's why I actually posted videos about healing your inner child, because in order for us all to grow, you do have to deal with that. You have to deal with whatever issues you had in this lifeline and your past lifelines. And 9 times out of 10, the issues you dealt with in this lifeline are because unresolved things you brought over. You know, it's unresolved baggage, you know. So we need to let go of all that baggage that's been holding us down, because it's a weight. And what does a weight do? It makes you heavy. And when you are heavy, if you are basically, you know, in water, it can make you drown. That's why people, and I hate to bring this up or use this analogy, but like when you watch movies and things like that, where they talk about, or they show that somebody killed somebody, if they decide to put them in the water, what do? They put heavy weights on them, concrete and things like that, so they can sink down to the bottom of the ocean. And what I want is for all of us to float, to rise, you know, to our greatest potential. So that is exactly why I'm sharing this video with you. That's exactly why I have this YouTube channel, so that you guys can grow and glow with me. I love you guys, and I'm going to end on that note. Peace, love, abundance. Peace.